YouTube, welcome in. I'm Dale, your local Polish cat, and today we're gonna be watching Germany is over by quiz gesagt. I cannot pronounce it, I am so highly sorry. But please enjoy!
Crash into the consequences of a fertility crisis made much worse by the mismanagement of the boomer generation. The demographic collapse tearing up the generational contract may soon destroy one of Germany's greatest achievements, its welfare state. Millennials, Gen Z and younger are left with a huge mess they somehow need to sort while they're outvoted by the grey bloc making the decisions for them. What happened?
That kind of sounds like the most typical moment, like, you know, when the younger generation is just suffering because of the older generation making mistakes, and then like keep going with it and not even like understanding that they could be the issue and they should like ask the younger generation about their opinion or something. I think that's kind of typical here. Yeah!
Population collapse.
Yeah.
Germany was among the first countries to industrialize, and so its fertility rates dropped early in the 20th century.
Okay.
But for 55 years, they've been below replacement at 1.4 children per woman in 2025.
Oh, that's not all.
Compared to South Korea, this sounds almost amazing, but it still means population collapse.
I didn't knew in South Korea the fertility rate was so low. I knew it was low, but that is so freaking low. Like low. Oh my god, but Germany also has it low. Can I check how is it in Poland right now? I'm so sorry I'm putting Poland into everything. But you know we also have a low fertility rate. Oh, we have lower than Germany. Oh no! We have 1.1. Oh my freaking god. 1.1 in... Oh my freaking god. Perfectly between the South Korea and Germany. Let's go.
If fertility stays at 1.4, then 100 Germans will have 70 kids. When those grow up, they'll have 49 kids, who'll then have 34 kids, who'll have 24.
Yeah.
A 76% drop within 4 generations.
Yeah.
Many people think there are too many humans anyway, so what's the big deal? Well, at the same time, people started living much longer. So we have a fatal mix of way more grannies and way fewer babies.
Yeah.
The real crisis German millennials, Gen Z and younger will have to live through is the massive shift in population composition and the transition period. In 2026, Germany is already one of the oldest countries in the world, with a median age of over 45. Almost 2 in 5 Germans are over 50, almost 1 in 4 is older than 65. Only 1 in 8 is a child under 14. Despite its industrial production declining, suffocating bureaucracy, and little economic growth, Germany's system is still chugging along and it remains one of the richest countries. The country still has a big population and a big workforce, along with generous social benefits and pension payouts. But soon, the reality of demographics and boomer mismanagement will hit Germany like a freight train.
I honestly feel like it's not only... I wouldn't say it's like purely a German issue. I would say it's like an issue in any kind of first world country where, you know, you have the statistic that, yeah, the richer the place is and basically the more it's gonna be modernized, can I call it this way? You know, the better it will be there, the less children will be being born there. Like, it's just a phenomenon like this, and it's also kind of, I would say, a pretty common knowledge. And yeah, in the poorer kind of countries, you have more babies and stuff like this, right? Like, it's generally, I would say, a common knowledge. It's not like only a Germany issue, I would say. And the issue why it is an issue that there will be like more elderly people than babies is that, you know, any kind of emerytura is retirement money, usually goes from the taxes, you know, so it will end up that we are paying for, well, more people that are working currently or something like this, but it would be, you know, in like 20, 30, 40 years or stuff like this. But yeah, it is quite a lot of issues. But I would say the biggest issue is that even if we know it's gonna happen, we just don't work on it. We don't work to fix it because it is just like a system issue that is not being updated to current issues. It's still like outdated. And that's it. Because it is, at the end of the day, fixable in a way. And if not completely fixable to make it, like, no lose at all, it can be better and not the worst it could be, So it is still fixable in a way, I would say. But yeah, the biggest issue is that no one actually wants to try even to fix it right now. Because there are always other issues going on in the current time that people don't really even think about what's gonna be in the near future.
Population crash means that a society and culture loses more than just people.
Yeah.
The systems and countries we've built can't just be downscaled. Things stop working. Young Germans are screwed. Old ones too.
Yeah.
By 2036, 13 million German baby boomers will retire. This big bulge here. But because they didn't have nearly enough kids, way fewer younger people will replace them. In 2030 alone, there might be millions of jobs that will be impossible to fill. Fewer people working means fewer taxes and resources for the state. Also, services will decline, waiting times will increase for everything from your bags at the airport to doctor's appointments. But the much more urgent issue is retirees.
Yeah,
Germany has a pay-as-you-go pension system, which means that about 20% of today's salaries is directly paid out to pensioners.
Yeah.
This sort of worked in the 1960s when there were 5 working Germans for every retiree.
Yeah.
But in 2024, this ratio is down to about 2.5. In the 2030s, it will get closer to 2 workers for 1 pensioner. And about 10 years after retirement, people tend to get really sick and cause the vast majority of healthcare costs. The math ain't mathing, and it actually never really did. Already in the 1970s, governments began to subsidize the pension funds with tax revenue, pushing the problem into the future, as has more or less every single government since then.
Yes! It's a really common issue. Even here it is like this. I would say it is a really common issue, but at the same time, you know what I remember really well? Oh, it's gonna sound really bad, but I do remember really well that each time you would go to a Polish beach, in a season, basically, you would see most of the tourists there, which could not even be from Poland. Like I would say 50% of the people would there be from Poland, but lots of tourists on Polish beaches are actually German elderly people. I don't know how does it work, but literally so many tourists there are just elderly German. It is a cheap destination for Germans. I don't know if I should say sadly or not, but it is a cheap destination for them. Though for Polish people, like going to a Polish beach is actually quite expensive nowadays.
Wow. The future is today.
Yeah.
In 2025, the German federal government spent roughly a quarter of its annual tax revenues to fix holes in the pension system, on top of the working population's payments. Let's say that again. 1 in 4 German tax euros is used to pay out pensions today. More than on education, research, infrastructure, and defense combined.
Oh.
The wealth of the nation is redistributed from the young and the working to the old and retired. And as the boomers retire, this will only get worse. It's money that could be spent on things that help the young and the working part of the population, like incentives to start a family, lower taxes, free childcare, cheap loans to buy homes, investments in education, infrastructure, or clean energy. There are so many things that would help young Germans. But will millennials and Gen Z get to enjoy similar pensions at least? Well, it's not very likely. The current system only works for boomers because their parents had more children and died younger, and because Germany was booming and the problem escalated slowly. Young people today don't have all of that. Okay, that's depressing, but at least the young can take care of their own retirement and save money, right? Well, many sure would like to, but taxes and contributions are about 40% of salaries for the average worker and almost 50% in the highest tax brackets, one of the highest in the world. Together with the rising cost of living and sluggish wage growth, this makes it especially hard for young and middle-aged Germans to generate savings for their own retirements. One of the
Oh my god, it kinda reminded me of something out of the blue. Today we have a day when I randomly remember random stuff. But I remember I had a friend who was working in Germany while living in Poland, which is pretty common here because the minimal in Germany is usually like around average pay in Poland, okay? And that is a huge difference basically between a minimal and the average pay. But I remember that at some point they would ask me in jokes if I want to marry them because then they will pay way less in taxes, something like this. And that was so out of the pocket thing to even joke about to me that I was so taken aback. I was like, no? Excuse me? No? Eh? Eh? And then I think after a few years, I learned that they were actually serious, but they just wanted, to like see how I will react in case they wanted to, ask for serious. And I was like, bro, what do you mean? If you were serious, what do you mean? It's not just a paper. Like, a marriage is an important thing in life. What do you mean doing it just for the taxes? Ew. I don't know. Ugh.
Best investments, wealth generators, and places of comfort and security is owning your own place. But due to a mix of NIMBYs preventing new development, increasing mountains of new regulations making building more expensive, and millions of people immigrating to Germany in the last few decades, the housing supply is deeply behind demand. Renting and buying real estate in metropolitan areas where young people actually want to live is so expensive today that even couples with a dual income and good jobs have a really hard time affording it. The generational contract in Germany is broken. And yet, some media voices continue to frame all this as a failure of young people's financial habits. The reality is complicated, and misleading narratives permeate the media landscape.
Oh my freaking god, oh my freaking god. I will not even, I know I see that this is some kind of advertisement, but listen, I cannot count how many times I saw, I'm saying on a Polish internet right now because we have exactly the same issue that the rent is really high in Poland as well, okay? But I cannot count how many times I saw boomers on the internet saying that, yeah, listen, just find a better job. It's so easy, right? It's your issue. It's your fault that you don't want to, I don't know, work 60 hours per week, like be a literal slave working 12 hours per day. It's your issue. If you wanted, you would become a slave to get that loan for house. Listen, if you would like to work 10 years of your life, 10 hours every day with maybe one day off, no sick days or anything, yeah, you would be able to afford it. It's just the thing that you don't want to do it. Stuff like this. Like, listen, that's literally the boomer talk all the freaking time. I don't know how is it in Germany, but here I believe there's like, we call it kultura zapierdolu, like the culture of zapierdol is I don't know even how can I translate zapierdol, but it's the culture of working yourself almost to death, basically. You're sick, you cannot be sick, you're gonna take the meds and you're gonna go to work anyway. You cannot be sick because you're gonna earn a bit less, right? Like 80 or 70% when you are on the medical leave. You cannot. You're gonna go back to sleep, go back to work. Bro, on the TV, we have non-stop ads for painkillers that go this way. Oh yeah, I was working on this construction and then I got a really bad pain in my back, pain in my spine. But then I took these painkillers and they worked in 5 minutes and I could go back to my work. And that is so annoying. Like, what do you mean? Bro! Who haven't watched this TV anymore since like 10 or 15 years? They're not only on TV, they're literally everywhere. Bro, I saw this kind of ads on YouTube. I like, like the random ads you would get in the middle of video. I saw this kind of ads even in a freaking radio. Those are really typical ads here. Ads for painkillers, where they would be like, oh yeah, I couldn't work because I got a random headache. Oh yeah, so now I'm gonna take these painkillers and go back to work. Literally, there's like a slave work culture here, where you need to work yourself to death to even feel like you're doing something in life. And that is absolutely crazy for me. And I feel like even if I really don't want to be in this kind of mindset, because the culture around is so so typical for it. Like, it's so filled with it. It is really, like, it is randomly getting into your own head, even if you don't like it. Where exactly in Poland? Yeah, in Poland. Yeah. It's so random. It's so random. Isn't it because the currency is worth nothing? No, it was always like this. It's the culture my parents were living in, and they have this kind of mindset. My grandparents also have this exactly kind of mindset. When I couldn't go to my family because I was working, I couldn't go to my family one holiday because I was working. And my grandma called me after this, and she was saying that, oh yeah, she respected so much that I put my work above because, yeah, without work, a person is nothing, stuff like this. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean without work, a person is nothing? What is this kind of freaking work slave attitude? I hate this mindset so freaking much, and it's so common here. Literally, every no I know has this kind of mindset. Among boomers, okay? Among younger generation, I believe the Gen Z. Oh, I believe our generation kind of started believing that, yeah, we don't live to work, we work to live, you know? And that's it. And that's it. The Polish mindset seems always pessimistic to me as a German, with partly Polish background, okay? Seeing the first sentence of the Polish anthem and already feeling the pessimistic mentality. You cannot put Polish anthem into this conversation because Polish anthem was something that started around the world, the wartime. Like, you cannot put into this conversation the Polish anthem because it really has a really different historical context, and it absolutely cannot connect it to anything. Like, it has historical context why it was this way. Okay. Without work, there's no money. No, that it doesn't mean you need to work 24/6 and not 24/7 just because of Sunday and go to work at 7 day. Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. Yeah, you're gonna be working 12 hours per day for 6 days, and then at the Sunday, you will just go to the church because, yeah, the God didn't work on 7 days, so you also cannot work on 7 days, and you cannot do anything, right? So you will not go to your work at Sunday, but instead you will work in your home because working in home is not the same as normal work, isn't it? I know I'm shitting so much right now about all of it, but I really feel like, you know, you should live to be able to, you know, like, experience life, and you shouldn't be living only just for the sake of working. Like, you should be allowed to have fun in life, you should be allowed to experience something in life, and you shouldn't be only like working 12 hours per day. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's so painful right now, even to have a good job, even average payment, and still you feel like a poor man because everything is so expensive. It's totally demotivating. Yeah, that's totally true. It's totally true. It's hard right now to get a good job here that's not gonna be paying you minimal wage. Right now, my brother is looking for a job, and I think he's looking for a job a few months already. And the issue is that he has a lot of experience in his job field, basically. The issue is that he was going, you know, to a lot of job interviews, and some of them were for like the junior, the literally position of someone who is just starting out in the field, right? And they would still say that he has not enough experience when he has, I feel like, 5 years of experience already. Like, it is so fucking random. And I feel like it's absolutely disgusting. Literally. So, yeah, the job market here is absolutely bad. The renting situation is absolutely bad. And also, on the side note, I think over 50% of like renting companies in Poland belong to Germany. Like, they are German companies, and they are not Polish companies. And that's what I can say, bro. Like, living here sometimes is an absurd. That's all I can say. And I'm sorry about making all of it about Poland once again, but I really feel like Poland and Germany, even if we are different countries, we have a lot of similarities, and we are really literally next to each other.
Thankfully, there is a solution.
Okay,
Our
what's the
partner,
solution?
Ground News, is a website and app built to help you think critically about the information you consume, a mission we fully support. They curate news articles from across the globe, adding context on political bias, reliability, ownership, and summaries that highlight what each side is leaving out. You can even compare headlines to see how bias shapes the narrative.
Yabba.
Take this story about a report on Germany's economic decline. Some present it as a straightforward warning, while others highlight it as a serious threat to living standards. Ground News also reveals blind spots, stories that only one side is covering, showing you what your usual news feed is hiding. As information bubbles are becoming the norm, thinking critically about the news is no longer optional. And Ground News makes it easier to do just that. Try it at ground.news/nutshell or scan the QR code on the screen. Using this link gives you 40% off an unlimited access subscription and directly supports our channel. And now, back to the video.
Yeah.
Young Germans are condemned to pay off a huge loan on the future that the older generations have generously granted themselves. And they don't have the power to change this by voting because German parties just have no incentive to help young people. Demographic decline in a democracy is a feedback loop.
Yeah.
When seniors are the largest group of voters, politicians make politics for them. This leaves young Germans facing a hard time building wealth or getting their own homes, which makes them even less willing to start families and have children, even if they want to, all of which is making the demographic crash worse. Germany has become a society that works for the old and relies on the young, making it really hard to create new young people. Baby boomers' lives are affected too. With unsustainable pension funds, inevitably millions of older Germans will have to work much longer than they thought.
Yeah.
A retirement age of 70 or higher is already being discussed. Today, about 20% of German pensioners live in poverty, and that rate is all but guaranteed to increase significantly in the 2030s. Still, seniors and boomers in total own the vast majority of Germany's wealth. Germans are even arguing about to what extent the costs of social systems have gotten out of hand. Even in a high-tax country like Germany, there's plenty of wealth disparity and opportunities to tax the rich and take pressure off workers. Although, of course, the details are fiercely debated, so we'll not get into this right now. But the scale of the gap between what workers pay and what's needed to cover boomers' pensions is so enormous that even raising taxes would only buy a bit of time. And beyond pensions, the welfare and healthcare systems Germans rely upon may become unaffordable in the 2030s. The vast majority of healthcare costs occur during the last quarter of your life. So just as the healthcare workforce is shrinking due to demographics, the numbers of patients will explode. The waiting time for a specialist doctor is already months in the state healthcare system. Okay, but
I really feel like at this point, this video could refer to most of European countries. Listen, if we would change the title to quite a lot of European countries, it would literally be the same. Like, there's so many places right now here struggling with all of it. Oh my god, that's crazy to me. That's freaking crazy to me that, just like, there are countries who actually got out of those issues, right? Or even if they have those kind of issues, they're adopting in a way, right? But here we are. Oh, I'm laughing because it's such an absurd thingy, and I'm looking into the future, and I'm seeing my own future here right now.
what about immigration? Whatever your opinion on immigration is, pro or against, please put it in a box and ignore it for a moment. We only want to look at it from one perspective. Can it solve the population crash? Let's look at the population again.
Yeah.
If a country's pyramid looks like this and you want to stabilize it at the bottom, immigration won't do that. For one, it doesn't actually make your country that much younger. In Germany, the birth rate of most of its immigrants isn't higher than the locals. And if new immigrants have more children, they tend to adjust.
It was higher. 1.2 to 1.8? I mean, that is way higher, I would say, isn't it? Isn't it? I feel kind of troubled right now because it does look higher. So like, I mean, maybe it's not, over 2, right? To overcompensate, like, the German people, the German citizens. But it's still better, right? No, still below 2, no significant change. Yeah, but it's still better, in a way. It doesn't, like, overcompensate this number, but it's still, like, a bit better, right? Like, it still helps a lot. Like, maybe not a lot, but it still helps. Even if a little bit.
isn't higher than the locals. And if new immigrants have more children, they tend to adjust to the rest of the population within 2 generations.
Yeah.
Sure, immigration over the last few decades has delayed the coming crash, and in the transition period, we'll run into serious worker shortfalls, especially in healthcare and nursing. So zero immigration doesn't seem wise or feasible. But there's a problem. If birth rates stay as low as they are, or go down even more, then the German population will continue to shrink. And to keep it stable, it would constantly need to be replenished by new immigrants, until they age and themselves need new immigrants to pay for their retirement. No matter if you think this is a good idea or not, it's not actually possible. Birth rates are crashing everywhere. Eventually, immigration around the world will slow down massively. The world is running out of young people. So immigration can delay the issue a bit and ease the consequences, but that's it. Germany either has to solve its demographic crash or its welfare state and pension systems will break. Conclusion and opinion part. So how over is Germany?
Yeah.
The demographic crisis is the greatest danger to German living standards and social cohesion. And the same crisis is unfolding in all Western countries.
Yeah.
Things are about to escalate in Germany, Italy, France, and Poland, but the same.
What do you mean 1.0? Ah! We are losing this one. We are losing this one. Okay, but listen, no, I can say proudly, but that at least I know why it looks like this in Poland and why there's so many issues with it in Poland. But you know, there's a lot of issues that are purely political, so I don't want to speak about them. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff here going on, and that's why it's so low.
Issues are also on the horizon in the US,
They're really the lowest they showed.
Argentina, or Canada. The reality nobody wants to talk about is that solving the demographic crisis will be very painful.
Yeah.
It will require sacrifices from everyone, and politicians seem incapable of addressing it honestly. But to solve the demographic crisis for real, something no nation has done successfully so far might mean doing things that are intensely unpopular with older voters. Instead of spending 25% of Germany's entire budget on the elderly, especially the wealthiest among them, we could invest more of it in families, paying for housing and childcare, and making it an amazing deal to have a big family. More than anything, our attitude to kids and families needs to change.
Oh yeah.
Demographics move slowly.
Oh my freaking god. Do you know what this kind of also reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of, you know, like when you go out in public and someone has a small kid and how everybody is side-eyeing them. Or when the kid behaves like a kid and everybody is mad about it. You cannot tell me it's not going on like this. Like, people are judging you when you have a small kiddo. Isn't it like this? Isn't it like this? I feel like here it is an issue. And I remember it is a like anecdote, so I don't usually like to say anecdotes too much because, you know, they don't prove usually anything because it can always be like a one singular event, right? But I remember in some shops here you have the rule that if you have a mother with a young child or a pregnant woman, they can skip the queue in a shop. Which I feel like it's okay in my opinion. Like I don't think it's bad or I don't think it's good. It's just like I'm neutral towards it. I don't have any opinion about it, right? But I remember I was waiting in a queue, right? And there was a pregnant lady, and she asked if she can use this right and she can skip the queue, right? And there was some like random person at the beginning of the queue, and he started like screaming at this lady, being so mad that she wanted to skip the queue. That is like the policy of this shop, that she absolutely can. He was so mad, screaming. It was such a random drama out of nothing. Because that person would wait, I don't know, 2 minutes more. And he was not in a rush or something, I believe. I don't freaking know. That is such a random thingy. I feel like, you know, I don't know. When I see a small kid outside, I feel like it's cute and that's it. I don't have too much of an opinion about it, you know. But I know there's a lot of people who are always side-eyeing when you go outside with a small kid or something. And that's weird in my opinion. And that's it. I would say it depends on the age of people. I used to be like that, but now when I see it, I'm just jealous. I can't be in their shoes. Oh, that's sad, mate. That's really sad. Ayo, ayo. Nah. I would say I'm not jealous over someone having a kiddo, but I would say it's always just kind of adorable to see people going on a walk with their kid or something. Like, I'm seeing this kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're having a family time, and that's it, and nothing more. But yeah, I know there are people who are really salty about this kind of stuff, and I absolutely don't get it. Like, there are people who are always making some dramas out of, like, I don't know, children being in a restaurant, stuff like this. And, you know, I know that sometimes you want to have a peaceful dinner, right? But in my opinion, that child is also a human, you know, and it behaves like a child. It can cry sometimes, yeah. But at the end of the day, it's gonna cry for some time and it's gonna stop usually. Like, I feel like we should treat children like humans and allow them in spaces. Which sounds like really normal opinion, at least in my case. Like, I find it a really normal thing to say. But I know here a lot of people really don't have this kind of opinion. And I know a lot of people who would not go into a restaurant if they see like a crying kiddo inside because they find it like annoying. Stuff like this. I don't freaking know. It doesn't bother me. It's both good and bad. From one side, the kids don't want to wait, so why not give them that skip? From other, that's why they can get more and more impatient, which is bad. You're talking about skipping the queues? I saw way more that, you know, it was more about like pregnant ladies skipping the queues rather than women with small children skipping. And if it was usually like mothers with small children, it would be like in a fence, you know, like a kiddo in a basket. I don't know how do you call. I think you call it a basket. This kind of thing you put the kiddo in with wheels, and you just, you know, like walk with it on the wheels. I don't know how to call it. Yeah, I think that's a basket. You mean a stroller? Yeah, a stroller. Yeah. I didn't know the name. I'm so highly sorry. The baby stroller. Yeah. Okay, let's come back to the video. We are really getting off the topic.
But then unstoppably. The next few decades will be rough, but our societies can decide just how rough and what kind of societies will emerge on the other side. Making this video was hell. We wrote the first draft in the winter of 2023. We killed this script again and again, only to be annoyed and start fresh. This topic is complex, and people angrily disagree about it, so presenting the information in a way that was nuanced, but also not so much that it lost all bite, was incredibly hard. Especially as Germans, it was a real challenge stepping outside the narratives we grew up with. We had countless discussions inside our team and with our experts, arguing passionately over individual sentences, facts to delete or add in. We reworked, re-researched, and redrew large parts of it again and again. What you watch today...
I would say that's kind of based, honestly. Like, I find it really based that they tried to stay as neutral as they could. I find it really, really based. Because at the end of the day, you know, when you're making any kind of video, you're always gonna lean in some way. You're always gonna put some kind of your personal opinion into those. And I find it based when someone is trying their best not to put one. Because it is hard. And usually you need a lot of people to fact check or just to check your script just to see how not subjective you are. Oh my freaking god. How much you are speaking not about your own opinion, but you literally talking about something and not speaking out your opinion about it. Yeah.
Is only the tip of the iceberg, and you need to judge if we did a good job. To be frank, projects like this are horrible financial decisions, but we think it's important that we do them from time to time. And we literally can only afford to do this because of your direct support. So, if you think what we're doing is of value and you want to enable more in the future, the best way of doing so is to get one of our passion projects or limited editions from our shop. One of our personal favorites are our science posters. We made over 100 and sold over 500,000 copies over the years. Each of them created in collaboration with leading experts and made with lots of attention to detail. From a new type of map of evolution to the incredible inner life of your cells, we have infographics about all sorts of topics and just straight up beautiful art pieces. There's loads more we're proud of, like art books and journals and hoodies, but you get the gist. If you want to support our human-made work and enable us to do projects that are economically dumb ideas, like this video, or all of human history in an hour, the Kurzgesagt shop is open.
Yay!
You want to listen to the beautiful soundtrack without my annoying voice? Well, it's up to you. Just select.
Wait, the next one is the South Korea. South Korea is over. Oh my freaking god. I feel like at this point there's gonna be a video about every country being like, oh yeah, this country is over, that country is over. Welcome to the current world. But you know, that's the end of the video basically. And all I can say is, even with so many issues everywhere, I just wanted to just kind of say that, guys, we're all gonna survive, okay? Like, issues are issues. There are issues everywhere. You cannot say no. Issues gonna be everywhere. Somewhere they're gonna be different issues, right? And depending on like your personal beliefs, they might be like other issues as well, or something will not be an issue, right? But at the end of the day, I just wanted to remind everybody that we're just gonna survive. You know, I have hope at least that we're all gonna survive. That's all I can say. And with this part, we can finish watching it. Thank you so for watching this one with me. I hope I wasn't complaining too much, because I love to complain. But yeah, I just really hope we didn't complain too much on all of it. Thank you so much for watching this one with me. Thank you!